Growing up, I didn't really have any role models that were close to me in my life. Really, my role models were fictional characters or people I saw on TV. I didn't really have people or adults in my actual day to day life that I looked up to. And that sucks. I really wish that could have been my father that I looked up to. Um, as a young boy growing up, obviously, you learn a lot from your mom and she can teach you a lot of great things, but I really do think that every young boy needs a positive male role model in his life. That doesn't have to be a father, right? Could be an uncle or somebody like that, but I didn't have a positive male role model in my life growing up. And I really think that stunted my growth a lot. It caused me to, make mistakes that I shouldn't have made at all. I shouldn't have even been close to making those mistakes. It caused me to repeat mistakes. It caused me to just, like I said, be stunted in life. I could have done more to become a better person at a younger age if I had the experience and the wisdom from someone older than me that, inspired greatness in me. I would have I wouldn't have thrown away so many opportunities. I never went to my grade 9 graduation. I didn't go to my grade 12 after party for the graduation. And those are really silly examples, but those are just some that I really, when I did skip them, I felt as though I had made a grave mistake at the time. And I kind of justified it. I was like, I'm not like those other people. I'm different. I don't want to go to that thing. I don't really care about going there, but I did care. Deep down, I wanted that big friend group, and I wanted to make memories in high school and middle school. And I remember I was always telling myself that the next year was going to be better. In middle school I tell myself, oh well, high school is really where it matters to have friends. And then in high school I was like, oh no, university is really where it matters. And now I'm almost graduating university. I have like a year left, and what do I have to show for it, right? That's not to discount my amazing friends and connections and memories that I've made, but it's not what I envisioned. And I really do think it's because I didn't have someone to inspire greatness in myself, right? Growing up, I was lost. I was so lost. I felt like I was being pulled in so many different directions. I had no idea what good was from bad, what right was from wrong. And obviously, I don't mean that like in terms of morality, but rather in terms of what opportunity should I take and which one should I not? Which goal should I strive for and which one should I not? You know, what is something that is worth pursuing and what is something that is futile or silly or, maybe not what I expected. And I really think it affected my relationship with women or girls at the time because I was younger. I just had like this fascination with them, but I never really learned how to see them as people. And that sounds really horrible, and it is, right? But I saw them as like, oh, that's someone to date. That's someone to be in a relationship with. That's someone to have my first kiss with or something like gross like that, right? And I'm not saying it's gross to have a kiss or have crushes or whatever, but when you're just looking at women as a whole as, oh, she's ugly. I wouldn't date her, blah blah blah, this type of stuff. It's it's so impactful to your growth as a man, right? I'm so lucky I didn't go down the incel route or whatever. And I really think that's because I had just enough people to steer me to the other side. And I had enough, I guess, common sense in me to say that, maybe I shouldn't be growing up like this. But I'm not, I'm a little ashamed to reveal that fact about myself. But I know that because I am ashamed of it now, I've grown, right? If I hadn't grown, I wouldn't really find any difficulty admitting that. And it wasn't just women, it was also my self image, right? I think if I had a positive male role model in my life, if I had somebody who wanted me to become the best version of myself, I would take better care of my physical health. I'm kind of overweight. I have been telling myself for years now that I'm going to get into shape, and I kind of haven't. Um, I'm weaker than I should be at my age, right? And I know that online comparisons are never really valid, I would say, because people edit their bodies and you're only really seeing the top whatever 5%, 10% of the entire world who's like happy and comfortable to show their body online. But still, like, I want to look better. I want to be a part of that 5, 10%, however much it is. And I think if I had somebody in my life to inspire me when I was younger, if I had someone to steer me towards the right direction, I would have. I don't think I was someone who was reluctant or resisting um, sports or working out or whatever. In fact, I was someone who wanted to do it. I just got into it far too late and I never really built the discipline I needed to do it consistently. I loved soccer as a kid in the 6th grade. And I'll never forget, like, my dad was never really too supportive of it because he was always comparing me to my cousins and saying, "Oh, well, soccer has no future here in Canada, and like you shouldn't play a game that you can't even play most months of the year," and other bullshit like that. It's unfair, is what it is, because it saddens me to think what I could have become if, when growing up, I had better influences. And so I'm trying to do that for my younger brother, and I'd like to say that I've done pretty well. He has tons of friends. He's making great memories in high school. He joined sports teams where I had not because I thought I was just so in my head about it that I never thought I was good enough to try even. Um, but though I'm very happy and grateful that he is having a much better experience than I did in middle school, and now he's graduating high school actually this week, um, I can't help but feel cheated out. I feel as though should have been me, man. Not at his expense, of obviously, but I really wish that my father had stepped up and done it. Inspired both of us, both me and my younger brother, and I really wish I didn't have to step up and take that role and sacrifice my own kind of opportunities and chances to do things in life. Um, just because I never really learned how to take chances and how to take opportunities and why I should and which ones to take and which ones not to take. And through my reflection, after wasting opportunities and foregoing them, I was able to teach my brother, and I am grateful for that, like I've said, but it is a bit disheartening. But I guess at the end of the day, there's nothing I can do about that, right? But it is nice to just sometimes just sit and talk about how you feel and just look at how you feel, just hold it in your hand and let it go, right? I don't think that you should just be like, oh, well, there's nothing you can do about that. Why are you even wasting time talking about it? I think it's very important to reflect, because if I hadn't reflected on all my wasted opportunities, I wouldn't know which ones to tell my younger brother to take. I wouldn't develop that experience to inspire greatness in him um, through my decisions, right? So reflection is key. And yeah, that's just what I had to say about um, this moral. It's from Star Wars The Clone Wars. If you haven't watched that, at the start of every episode, there's a moral on screen. And I'm making a new series where I'm pretty much just going to make a video relating to each moral. So this is from the first episode of the first season. And as we go down, I will hopefully make one related to each episode that they've ever done for the Clone Wars. And really, it's just going to be what do I feel? What do I think when I read that moral? And I hope I can incite you to reflect on what you think and share your thoughts in the comments below. But thank you for watching, and let me know what you think of this series. I know I've got like a whole bunch of things going on the channel right now, but do let me know what you think, and I hope to see your reflections and your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you.